happens today is the 12th anniversary of the 2012 flood that decimated Duluth.
Northern News Now's Jeffrey McClure takes a look at how the infrastructure improvements made following that disaster has kept last night's floodwaters from becoming destructive.
That's why the police department does not want you out on the roads.
12 years ago, Duluth was torn apart by catastrophic flash flooding.
Once before,
Fast forward to Wednesday night, outside of minor damage to city trails and parks, flood impacts could have been worse.
We could have a few $100,000 of damage from there, but I'm happy with that compared to what it could have been.
In 2012, Duluth suffered $100 million in flood damage. Rob Morehouse with Duluth Fire says he and the city learned a lot from that experience.
So 2012 was a very large learning curve for us. I believe that was a 500-year event, if I'm not mistaken. We learned a lot in that event based on what was our infrastructure back then. Was it prepared? We learned that we had some upgrades that had to be made.
The main focus after that flood was getting the water to more efficiently leave a neighborhood. It seems to be working.
So where we had a lot of damage before was in culvert blowouts.
Some of that infrastructure is still being built in Hartley Nature Center. Construction is ongoing to convert this area into what the city calls green infrastructure. This is what the finished project looks like. In Irving Park, the city converted this area into a low-lying, grass-covered space where water can collect rather than rapidly run through it.
Water was coming down the hillsides, obviously, but not to the magnitude, and so it was not as destructive.
But improvements haven't just included construction.
We've invested a lot of time and a lot of energy into training our leadership on emergency management.
Duluth's landscape and emergency responders now better equipped to handle high water thanks to improved construction, preparedness, and resources. In Duluth, with Northern News Now, I'm Jeffrey McClure.
Jeffrey, thank you. Now, speaking of that equipment, since 2012, the city has also received marine services such as jet skis and rescue boards to better access places a rescue may happen during a flood.
Still to come, we continue